And we're live.
Oh,
Oh, you literally what, Mitch?
well, I'm watching my live Domino's tracker, and it's like
so
it's like a minute away, so it's going to be an
fair
awkward
warning to
introduction.
fair warning to anyone tuning in right now. Mitch will be leaving to go answer the door for his pizza to show up. Dude, what kind of pizza did you get, Mitch?
What do you think? What would you guess be?
I'm guessing you just got a cheese pizza.
No, what?
Did you put meat on it?
Well, does pepperoni count as meat?
Pepperoni counts as meat.
There's only one important question.
Uh-huh.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
I'll put pineapple on pizza. I'm not ashamed.
Good man. Good man.
Everyone, our special guest today is.
If I was forced to.
If you were forced to?
If it was the only pizza on the table.
Mitch, let me introduce Aaron first, and then we can talk about pizza still. We have a special guest. He's out of Cincinnati, sports photographer, Aaron Doster. Aaron, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
I was just going through like my Instagram and seeing like who would be a great guest to come on. And I was talking to Matt Dirksen of the Rockies, and he's like, you should ask Aaron. And I was like, all right, cool. Your little sister is here.
Desperate.
Hold on. Hi, Aaron.
Oh, it's my sister.
She's here. She's watching.
She's a big sports fan.
Big sports fan. And we're going to talk sports photography today. So she is in luck. And so now we just want to debut our new logo. So we got our ticker going, and I'll put it back up in a second. But everyone who's watching, you might notice that there's not a your mom's here too. # proud mom. We're just going to invite everyone on who has dedicated family members who love them. That way we just increase the viewership over and over. And
Absolutely.
Over again. Exactly. But you might notice that we're not a walking advertisement for StreamYard anymore. And that's because we have our own. I can't even do this right. We have our own Camera Shop Talk logo now. I made it today. It's basically a circle with 2 rectangles and some text, but it looks great to me.
I like it. It's good. It's cool.
And our Colorado flag sticker, which you would get for free if you bought a $25 gift card for $20 on our eBay while we're closed. So that's my
nice sticker.
It's a nice sticker. He's like, so we're gonna talk sports. If you don't follow Aaron's work, it's great, and he also shoots on film when he's trying to get creative. And if you're not familiar with sports photography, after a while you're kind of like, okay. Over and over, 81 baseball games, 41 hockey games, a bunch of football, especially in Cincinnati when they're not too great. You gotta
get desperate.
Yeah, you gotta get creative, and so Aaron shoots film at his games as well. So super.
Absolutely. You gotta push it. You can't, everybody can take a picture of anything. Let's be real. But what's going to set you apart, what's going to make you different, etc. And it does get mundane. It does get boring sometimes when you have 81 baseball games and you're like, what can I do to spark the juices? What can I do to make something creative? And that's where I landed on, Polaroids and film. And it's just like, what can I do to still get my job done for the agency I'm shooting for that day, but to push myself and learn something and really just be creative. Because it's getting a rut. Well,
yeah. So how'd you get into sports photography? There's so many different stories I hear. People who literally I kind of fell into sports photography. I was a radio person who had a camera and like taking pictures and met the right people along the way. And earn your stripes that way. Did you study photography, or did you just like taking pictures?
Self-taught. Picked up my first camera in 2009. Because I said to my family, I could do that. I'm going to do that. And I was in retail and I hated retail and I wanted a fun hobby, and the hobby became this thing and just took off and met the right people. Shout out to Jamie Sabo with Getty Images in Columbus, Ohio, the Blue Jackets team photographer. He was the first creative person I met that actually wasn't a dick. and was like, "Oh, you want to be a sports photographer? All right, let's talk. What do you want to? Let's learn and let's grow." And my first ever assignment was Columbus Blue Jackets 2009-2010 season. I used to take my camera to games, shoot through the glass, shoot overhead, and,
Sure.
But I had my first couple assignments, and him and Russell Bounty out of oh god, I'm gonna hate me for messing this up. I can't remember what city he's in. Anyway, Russell Bounty for taking care of me too. He got me hooked up with USA Today after it was Press Wire, so
Sure.
a long time ago.
Man, imagine
James-
working retail and photography at the same time.
It's I could tell you about that, Mitch.
Yeah, I was I was working a whole bunch and freelancing for Icon, CalSport, and then learning that spec pay wasn't the way to go. At the time, it was fine because I was trying to get my feet wet, trying to move forward, and it just after I learned more and more that spec pay is kind of awful and terrible. Made the right decisions, talked to the right people, and Jamie and Russ got me into it. And it was just the thing, just knowing the right people, talking to the right people, pushing myself to be creative and not be a dick. I mean, that's the biggest thing, honestly. I know a lot of photographers who are, you can, and it's not just people I know, but just stories you hear. And you can take a guy or a woman who is a phenomenal person and an okay photographer, and I'd rather work with them because I can vibe with them, I can hang out with them, I can hang with them and work these hours. Or do I want to work with someone I don't vibe with for all these hours? No, you're going to go the other way to people you like, people gravitate to. So
yeah, reputation's a huge thing in I think the sports photography world, and I hear that from just about everyone I talk to.
Small community.
Yeah, super small, large but small. Instagram made it very small, I think.
It absolutely did, 100%.
Yeah,
because there's times when people will be like, "Oh, hey, what about this?"
Look at this.
All right, so hold on, James Gilbert.
Is that blasphemy or what?
It is blasphemy. I'm going to plug something real quick to my buddy Andrew out of Florida that sent me some Publix tea. My man, James. I have to say, it's all about the peach tea, my brother. It's peach tea over sweet tea.
This wasn't planned, everyone. He literally has the peach tea carton at his within it's arm's length.
Yeah, see, it wasn't planned, but I thank you, James.
And so, what are you shooting every game? Like, what kind of gear do you bring to the game? Or let's start with football. What kind of gear are you bringing to a football game? Because you shoot for the NFL photo department.
Correct. Which shout out to all those guys. I love them. Those guys push me every day, every week of football season to be creative and just how to better myself and be a better person too. And I've grown so much in the last year with those guys. And I've been there 2 years now, but this year was the first full season with them. And oh god, they're the best. So shout out to all those brothers and sisters. So football, I'm very, very specific on routine, creature of habit. So pregame, I'll do Sony A9. I like the versatility of the flip screen to be able to shoot like real low, ignorant angles, especially for pregame, because with the photo department, we have the black vest access, so we can get on the field for pregame and get those real close, nice profiles. So I like the versatility of the flip screen, and I always use 85 millimeter. I tried to switch it around and do like 24-105, 16-35. And then I just realized, pregame time is so small that you're just fumbling around, and there's no need for that. I don't need to go through 6,000 pregame photos.
Right. So you're a prime guy, is what you're saying.
I love primes.
There we go.
And the big reason why I love primes too is it forces you to create within those elements. Like 7200, I'm like, oh yeah, cool. I can, if they're a little further away, I can pick them off. It's fine. 85 or 35, you've got to make it happen within that frame. And I think that is lost a lot. A lot of people I know, shoot to crop, And it's like, nah, just make the frame happen in your camera. That way, you're spending less time in the back end. But yeah, so 85. Love my 85.
Yeah,
85. The 1.8 because being a freelance sports photographer, can't afford the nice one with the aperture ring on the outside.
I'm telling you, I don't know. I think the 85 1.8 for Sony. If we want to talk gear in between this, what you've got. First, you're a Sony guy. Mitch is a Sony guy. He has an A9 as well.
Yes. I'm not all Sony, but I do use Sony, and I like it as a secondary.
Sure. And so, but that 85 1.8 is ridiculously sharp.
Beautiful, ridiculously sharp, small.
Well, the 1.4
is lightweight.
It doesn't focus very quick anyway. The 1.4, you have all that capability in the A9, right. And then you kind of like slow it way down with the 1.4. Specifically, the 85 1.4 is like really, really slow.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is, what are you going to get between 1.8 and 1.4? Like, come on,
not a lot. Not a lot.
Yeah, not enough for me. That's the big thing. Being a sports guy, if I was doing studio work, etc. Yeah, okay, maybe. But yeah,
you do have to be like almost dedicated to like only portraiture and making money doing portraiture for the G Master to really make sense. Unless you just have the money and you just like the look a little bit better. It's a little, it's a slight difference, but
yeah,
very minuscule.
And the price difference got me immediately. I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally going the 1.8 round.
Right. Well, and the
weight and the weight too. Yeah, used for, I think I got it for $500 maybe. Sounds about right. I got it from another plug, Dodd Camera, in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I got it from them. Rented the 1.4 and the 1.8 both, and realized weight, price, it's fine.
Sweet.
So that's my pregame 85 Sony. So after introductions, Anthem, I've got everything in the tunnel right there. So I grab 400 with a 1DX Mark II, and then I grab my 7200 1DX Mark II, and then the 85 I keep around the neck. Usually I ditch that at halftime, and then I just rack the two bodies. I'll keep a 1635 on my belt just in case, but keep it pretty simple. I've missed a lot of stuff, and too focused, like, oh, I gotta grab this camera. Oh, fumble. Oh, the play's over. Cool. Great. Missed the photo.
Everything's happened really fast on an NFL field, on a sideline for sure.
Oh, have you ever been toppled over?
Oh yeah. I'm surprised my mother hasn't chimed in yet on this, because I know she's watching. I've been hit quite a few times. Pretty bad significant injuries. I still deal with one that I got in 2014. So shout out to an ex-Bengals player.
Nice. What a guy.
Oh, he's a peach.
It's like comes at you real quick, because you're looking through your lens, and all of a sudden you can't see through your lens, and the body's like just toppling over you. So
I wouldn't be mad at a photographer, honestly, wearing the same padding. Like, obviously you couldn't wear a helmet, but like if you wore the shoulder pads and stuff like that, like, why not? You're in the same amount of danger, I think, as the rest of them. So
I'm an advocate for that. I will gladly sign that petition. Same thing with baseball nets. They didn't want to put nets up in parks, and I was like, no, put up nets, please. Like,
yeah.
Or what's those things that they try to push while they're training? Those big, like, it's like a foam person. That could be like your monopod. You just hide behind that.
They just put like padded columns around the entire field for you to lean on.
Yeah. That'd be sweet.
I'm almost okay with that.
Yeah.
Sadly, God.
Yeah, you'd have to peek around them or something like that. But
it'd be like a bad college football game. There's like triangles, like you gotta shoot through the.
Oh really? Oh yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, we got some of those here locally.
Advertisers would love it. They put their ads all over it.
They'd make it neon. Don't worry. It'd be an LED scroller. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, in all your photos. You shot the national championship game.
Mm-hmm.
You had some cool. Your mom is making threats against that ex-Bengals player now. She says they don't ever want to meet your bad hockey puck or hockey pucks. Yeah. the ex-Bengal player doesn't ever want to meet your badass mom in person. So,
nice. Thank you, Mom. That was good. I like that.
But you shot the national championship game.
Correct.
You had a cool frame on your website. Let's see. Boom. One, that's a sweet photo, and two, you're in this like gigantic scrum, like the famous national championship scrum.
It was pretty bad. I'm surprised I didn't walk out there with broken ribs or anything. Those scrums are wild.
You start throwing elbows and stuff.
I was right up next to him at one point, and I somehow ended up further back, and I was like, "Oh, I'm here now." Okay. And so I just shot it a little wider, and I think that was with 1635.
Right. Is that kind of like what you switch over to when you know you're about to go out to the scrum? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Wider the better, especially if, these guys are so massive with pads on and just in general. Mm-hmm. I guess classic example is like, you get Dalton and Phillip Rivers together at scrum, and they shake hands, and you're like, oh my god, like
you're like looking up at him.
Yeah, like, oh, Phillip Rivers is a monster. Like, same thing with Brady. Like, those guys they're big, and you add cleats and pads, you're like, holy crap. And right. So yeah, 16 a little wider, get the handshake, get the love,
Sure.
But yeah, with that, I went back further after I got shoved out, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna stay back here. This looks way better. More of a moment, more of a feel.
Right. Kind of get the environment.
Yeah, and obviously he's gonna be number 1 draft pick, which I'm excited, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I wanted the moment, and that was a huge moment for him. Had such a season, and then to win a national championship right before the draft. Come on, that's huge.
Set himself up for success for sure.
Oh, huh? Yeah, a little bit.
Can you guys hear that behind me? Is it loud?
Is that a Doc's Matrix printer?
No, it's I think my girlfriend has convinced my roommate to make cookies, and so we went from not having any cookies to now having probably a lot of cookies when this is over. So I can't complain, even if it's happening in the middle of this interview. Sorry.
No, hey, that's pizza and cookies. That's
pizza and cookies. What'd you eat for dinner, Aaron?
And peach tea. I haven't etten dinner yet.
What? Oh man.
I am still getting over some crappiness this week. So
that's right. So you're taking it easy.
Yeah, food. I had a sandwich earlier, and it didn't sit well. So
it snowed, and it's snowing in Denver. And my roommate made chicken noodle soup, so it's gonna be a good night for sure. Yeah, W there.
I might go with the soup route.
I think your sister says that your mom makes the best cookies.
That's beautiful. She's not wrong.
Yeah.
And I even lying. They're the best. Yeah. My mom's watching, so I have to say they're the best, right?
Exactly. So you shoot football.
Yes.
You shoot whatever sport is put in front of your lens, basically.
Correct. I do have the ability to do all of that, which is great. I'd like to be a team guy, eventually down the road, somewhere, something. Why not?
Yeah.
The next step. Yeah, right.
We can get to that. But let's see. I like this frame a lot. That's Joey Votto. Let me share it on the screen. We'll talk baseball for a second here.
Yeah. Here, wait. Now that we're gonna talk baseball, I'll switch this over for you guys.
Look at that. He joined the team. Tomorrow would have been our opening day, and so I'm pretty bummed.
Yeah.
But man, Joey Votto is one of my favorite players. Is he fun to take photos of all the time, or what?
Yeah, absolutely. He 9 times out of 10, he if he's having a bad game, you know it.
Right.
And anyone that's shot sports, or especially, let me say this, especially anyone young listening who's getting into sports photography. We have a great gift that we're allowed to do what we do. It is a blessing. It is wild that we get to be this close. I mean, look how close I am. It's the bottom of the steps to Joey Votto going on deck. I think he mashed a 2-run homer that bat too. We have great access to these guys, but there is a point in time that you can feel it out. He he was feeling himself that game, but the next game, he must have woke up on the wrong side of bed, just grumpy. Right. So it's like, oh yeah, you can get all up in his face, but then you get one or two of those looks, and you're like, oh, all right. Yeah, so I'm not going to shoot. I'm not going to be portrait mode tonight on Votto. That's fine.
For sure, it's building relationships with the players in general, you know, and knowing when to stick your camera towards them and when not to stick their camera towards them. And as a team guy, you get that like tenfold, you know. But you have to treat it as like the entire team, you know.
Correct.
If your entire team, if your team's not doing well, you kind of sometimes we'll pass on batting practice, you know, give them some space or something like that. But
yeah, and I think that gets lost with a lot of, you know, photographers, young and old. Just feel it out, read the situation. You know, there was a time where I put a Polaroid. I was pretty close to Votto, and I put a Polaroid up in his face, and I mean, it was probably like 6-7 feet, and he didn't like it.
Yeah,
and it popped out, and I looked at it, and I put it in my pocket, and he was just like mugging me. And I went, I'm sorry. And he head nodded. And that was the last time I took a Polaroid of Votto.
Yeah.
He's like, that was, you know, 2 years ago. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
Right. Well, let's look at I have some of your film photos. So we were talking earlier in the broadcast that you do, you like to shoot some film in a side camera or a second camera. What kind of film camera are you using?
That one is with the, that's a Hasselblad. Was that the 501? I can't see it from here.
501 C3.
501 CM?
CM? Okay.
We'll go CM.
Yeah.
Also shout out to my boss, Ben Liebs with the NFL, for letting me borrow his Hassie, and I've had it forever. And so I just take it everywhere with me, shoot football, baseball.
Sure.
That's I think that is Lomography 400 or 100, and I pushed it a little. Great American just got LEDs over the last 2 years, so things look real nice and crisp. Yeah,
it's crazy how nice LEDs make. Just like in general, Coors had these, you know, the old school where they halogen.
Pizza time.
And pizza time. Did you get up, Mitch? He's gone.
Oh yeah, bolted pizza time.
If everyone knows where Mitch went, he went to get a pepperoni pizza from Domino's. There he is, right there. Is it not here? False alarm. Look at was it a false alarm, Mitch?
Yeah, the app was wrong. It was like,
well, you're gonna rely on the app, or you're gonna rely on someone knocking on your door?
Well, I don't know what they're doing now. I don't know if they're like actually giving you the pizza or if they just set it down and run.
Wait, that's true. You don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because
I haven't ordered a pizza during this pandemic, so
yeah. I haven't either. And it's like 30 degrees outside, so if it sits out there for like 2 minutes, then I'm gonna have cold pizza.
But let's look at these film photos. So are you a lomography kind of guy, or do you experiment with that? This is definitely lomography. Look at this thing.
Oh my gosh.
That's one of the mascots, the original crew cat for Columbus Crew. That's the Lomo Ectochrome. Or not Ectochrome. Oh my god. The purple.
It's that purple stuff, yeah.
Yeah, wow. The Lomo purple, and it's fun, it's silly, and it looks cool. You know, it really makes things unique and weird. And I had a role in there I was experimenting with, and I took it with me. Oh, Lomochrome purple. Excuse me.
Yeah, Lomochrome purple. I tried shooting that on opening day like two years ago, and I did since at the camera store employees get pretty quick turnaround, so I literally shot it that day, brought it to the store the day before opening day just to see what it would look like around the same time, and it just didn't do it for me. But we didn't have kind of just depends what color. There's a lot of purple already at the field, right?
Correct.
And so it didn't turn a lot of stuff as purple as I wanted it, so I passed on it. But
and that's you get that in your head. It's like, oh, it's gonna be purple, and then it's like, oh wait, it's not. Like it's real weird.
I've seen some great landscapes with this stuff, though.
Yeah, I should have sent you the picture for it. There's a photo from outside Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Nice wide shot. and the waters and skies turned that weird aqua, and then there's all the trees, so everything went purplish, and it looked really cool. But man, it's like the only successful photo out of 2 rolls I've had.
Right.
So
we got some good old Joe Madden.
Yeah, I sent that one over for Matty. He is one of my favorite people to be around, by the way. He is great.
He's a great dude. He like acts and sounds like a great dude.
I follow his son on Instagram, Joseph Madden. He's a high-end fashion photographer, kind of deal, models, portraits. His stuff is gnarly good. And Coach Joe and I have always talked about film and stuff because he's like, wait, is that a Hasselblad? He's like, I bought my son a Hasselblad.
That's the best picture you've taken.
I sent that in because I knew you'd like that.
You're a little biased there, Mitch. But we are 2 Cubs fans. During the wild card game 2 years ago, between the Rockies and Cubs, I literally like hid everything Cubs in my room. Like I put it in drawers. I took it out of my room, put it in the closet. I didn't want to look at it because I didn't want to like remind myself of the decision I had to make.
I mean, that makes sense.
But the right team won that year, so
that's what always gets me about, and I wanted just like, it's a sports topic, not really photography. That's what always gets me about like any athlete. If you grow up really loving a sport, you have a favorite team. And that's like the most heartbreaking thing to me is like you get signed for a team that you don't like or something like that, or you didn't like. And now you have to be, so loyal to that. And which is, I always thought was like heart wrenching.
So I here and there for the Atlanta Falcons. Kara Durant, I love you, by the way. And then working for the Panthers too. Melissa, you're the best. I love you. But I grew up essentially a Tampa Bay fan. And so working for the enemy, I'm just like, oh, this is awful. I have to wear their gear. Oh, but then I was like, oh, you put a paycheck on my phone. Oh, okay,
there we go. Yeah. Money changes the way you feel about a lot of things,
Yeah. Dude, I'll wear something Panthers related in Cincinnati and people are like, oh, Panthers. And I'm like, they put money in my account. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Pay my rent. Look, it's Ben says he's still waiting to see the film photos from Target Field.
That's fair. Sorry, Ben. I'll get that over to you. I don't even think I sent him a brace. So there you go.
It's weird shooting film because especially film's kind of like sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, and if you take a picture of an athlete, they usually remember, right? Like, or at least, it depends. Yeah. If you're there every game, and you take a picture on a different camera, we loved bringing like Hasselblads or I'll just bring an old Pentax K1000 down to the field during batting practice and shoot some film, and every player would be like, what is that? And like, is that a film camera? And then they ask you like where that photo is, and like if that photo didn't turn out, you're like, film, man. It's like,
but luckily, I've never had any baseball players ask me about that. They're like, oh, hey, and I'm like, yeah. Polaroid though, Polaroid pops up real quick, like here you
right away. Let's check out your. Hold on, when we do this, I'm gonna. You guys can keep talking. But we're gonna go to your about, or I'm just gonna go to Instagram.
That's a good point about the paycheck thing.
It's, there's still a few teams deep down as a sports fan. Growing up a Mets fan, I would never wear Phillies or Yankees. Even if they paid me, it would be rough.
It would be hard to wear a Yankees hat.
But at the same time, like, if you're paying me, you're paying me. Like, I will be. You got to be loyal, and that's something that gets lost a lot of the time. Is you got to be loyal. You can't just run around being a dick all the time.
Gosh, I don't know that I would be able to.
It would burn. Don't get me wrong. It would hurt.
I don't know if there's a price that would put a Cardinals anything on me. I don't know about that one. I think
Scott. If Scott Rovac is watching, Scott, I love you, but never. Mm-mm. Not in this city.
So you started this Polaroid thing. So you look like you got Polaroids. Do you have some Instax wide stuff here too?
Yeah, that top left one there. Nick Hagland with FC Cincinnati. Go FC. That is Instax wide. Yeah, I picked up a lomography Instax wide.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, it turned out great. That was during media day portrait shoot we did. After I got done with my setup, I just put him against the wall and hit him with a flash, and yeah, it looked awesome.
Yeah, I love the Polaroid stuff, but I feel like the Instax color is just a little better.
It is. It really is. I find like this one was from the national championship game. At the end of the game, confetti everywhere. Obviously, since I like to put the photo in the element of where I was.
Gonna say I really like those.
Yeah, those are fun. Yeah, and that same thing. That's in Philly, wild card game. You can see too that the it didn't really develop right.
Yeah, like the
so
roller.
Cold. It was so cold. Yeah, it was so cold, so it definitely didn't help. UD basketball.
Nice, put it on the hardwood.
Right on the court. Yep, right after the game. I like to do that right before I leave the building. Like once my final images are in, I'll go out to the end zone or the court.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Odell. Yeah, that was game right before Christmas. So yeah, it was the ugly sweater.
Ugly sweater.
Yeah, had to use a neutral density filter because that's 600 speed film in a SX70 sonar.
Are you screwing it on, or are you
hold it in front of it?
No, you slip it in the pack.
Oh, cool.
Like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Like you have to put it in there with the shield still in there, and then you put the pack in the camera, then it spits out the shield, and sometimes it spits out the negative, the filter too.
That's cool.
Like open it back up, put it back in. But yeah, same thing. Lamar Jackson, he was all about that kind of stuff. Like he loves it.
Those are some of my favorite sports pictures I think I've ever looked at, honestly, because probably my favorite ones that I see just of like, not film or just like a regular action shot are something that maybe isn't always a player, but like some sort of detail of the field or stadium that they're at.
I think there's like one sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think there's one I might have posted. I mean, obviously it's a lot of players, but I think I might have done one of a football helmet too, maybe. I can't remember. Oh, hey, there's some baseball.
There you go. Look at Jock.
There's some Peterson. Joe. Yep.
Some Joe.
Yeah, that was before when I first started that Instagram, and I didn't know what I was doing with him yet. So I want to retake something like that and put it in the dirt,
Right.
Just stick it in the now you can't. I was going to say stick it in the ivy, but now you can't.
Yeah, no ivy.
Mad bum.
He's talked to me for 20 minutes about that Polaroid camera.
Oh, really?
I was like, hey, Mads. I was like, do you mind if I take a picture? And he's like, yeah, have at it. And he's like, what do you got there? Oh, hey, there's some details, actually. That middle bottom.
Boom, boom. There's
the yellow, yeah. That's Pittsburgh, Heinz Field.
Oh, cool.
So, like a 50-yard line and then their player entrance tunnel. So, it was really cold. So, I didn't want to take a chance of wasting frames.
Football is really cold, and then I hear everyone talking about how baseball season should get extended and played all the way through December, and I'm like, nah, I'll pass.
No,
I'm freezing. But I'm a wimp when it comes to being cold and whatnot.
Please, yes, cold is terrible. Says the guy who lives in Colorado.
Right, exactly. but we have 300 days of sunshine, and the snow melts like in 2 days when it snows here. So
yeah, it does. It really does.
And it is snowing here.
It is snowing as we speak. Yeah. But these are great, and so anyone who's watching right now, it's hashtag Polaroids, which is a great Instagram username. And follow this if you want to see cool Polaroids from sporting events or behind the scene stuff at sporting events. So that's pretty neat.
I'll start posting more. A little rough since there are no sports currently, but I'm going to be posting some archive stuff. So I need to be a little more, about a week or two of not wanting to do anything, being bummed. And now it's like, all right, let's get back up, be positive, create.
Right.
So
I think those are so cool though. The picture of a Polaroid in the place is like, that one got me. I like that.
I appreciate that. That was fun. I did the first one. I was like, oh, that's kind of all right, cool. But yeah, hearing that feedback, that's awesome. Thank you.
And then you've kind of been just hanging out during this entire pandemic thing as a freelancer. It's kind of it hits harder when it's like your job is to go cover sports and there are no sports.
Yeah.
So I saw on your Instagram that you were out cruising. Is this sharing the Instagram right now? It's not. I'm not sharing any screen. But you're out cruising with some skateboarders shooting empty, stadiums or empty stadiums, empty street scenics, with these skateboarders
right on the highway. Yeah, parking garages are empty. The alleyway where that was Small Lake Park right outside of Great American Ballpark, actually.
Oh, cool.
And there were a couple people on the side, just empty. Middle, that's like rush hour.
Right. That's crazy.
And we kept our distance, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw something similar to that posted on the Barracks Instagram, Barracks skateboarding, and I was like, dude, we got to do some stuff like this.
Sure.
So my friend Heavy, shout out to Heavy, love you, buddy. He set me up with Seth here, and we just went around for a couple hours. Just whatever he wanted to do, tricks and just skating empty, and he was all about it. I was all about it. The light was good.
Yeah, it looks like you found the good light. So
that was the big thing too, is I wanted to hit all the pockets, and I told him that too. Is like, wherever you're looking to do a trick, if it's in a pocket of light, let's do it.
Right.
And so, insane. He was finding stuff left and right. Like, oh, I could do something here. I'm like, dude, let's do that.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Should be doing something similar tomorrow too.
Awesome. The second version of empty streets and skateboarders.
I think we're going to push it a little further this time too. I think we're going to really open it up with some of that highway stuff and super solid empty streets.
That'll be sweet.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
We'll follow you and whatnot. Well, I think this has been great. We had a lot of comments. We talked about sports.
Thanks, Bob.
We talked about football, baseball. You switched hats. When did you do that? I didn't even notice.
Oh yeah, sneaky.
We
gotta go back to the. There we go.
There we go. We got to end the show in a Rockies hat because our opening day is supposed to be tomorrow. So, but we're gonna have a virtual opening day, or it's what is it? A stay at home. It's called the Stay at Home Opener, and
so awesome.
And we're gonna kind of broadcast the best half innings of opening days in the past, and so obviously we're gonna win our home opener because we're gonna we're gonna destroy everyone else. So
how would that be good if somehow they're like, oh, we ended at the wrong spot, you guys lost? That would just be.
Well, we just picked you just gotta make sure you pick the innings that no one scored a run on you. But,
true. That's true.
Yeah. But we even have exactly. So, but yeah, Aaron, thanks for joining us, man. And
thanks for having me.
And this is the first ever YouTube live broadcast we've done. So I'm super pumped about that. Interested in seeing like how that goes. And thanks for kind of being our test smarty there. Yeah, I'm not gonna call you test dummy.
No, test dummy is totally fine. That's
all right. Good.
At it. It's fine. So I appreciate you guys having me. I appreciate talking a little film and a little sports and just talking to photographers. You know what I mean? Like, it's a tough time. It's a weird time. So
we just got to talk it out,
Yeah, absolutely. Also, shout out to everyone who has messaged everybody, checking in on others. I've been pretty bad about not doing it just because I'm trying to get out of my own head about it. But everyone that has reached out to not just me, but to like you guys and our other team guys and freelancers, it's huge that you guys, everyone is small community. So
right, exactly. If you know a freelancer in any kind of doesn't have to be photography, but any kind of creative field, reach out to them, say, hey, how you doing? Because they probably
absolutely
will at least text you back.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And if they don't text you back,
they're not hurting.
Right.
That or they're sleeping, So
that's me. Yeah, sorry. That was me all day today.
That's all. You're good. All right. Bro bonding. Yes.
Bro bonding.
bro bonding.
Thank you, Danielle.
With your guy and gal photographers, So
absolutely.
For sure. Well, this has been Camera Shop Talk for April 2nd what's it, Thursday, April 2nd. We had Aaron on. Thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow, we've got a friend of one of the employees at the camera shop on, and he's going to talk kind of commercial photography and whatnot. And I hear he's pretty funny, so we're gonna get him on, chat with him, and maybe Paul will even sneak on. We don't know. I think we can have more than 3 people now that I paid for this website now. I'm
also one last shout out, Rex and Zimmy in Denver. I love you guys. Lindsay, 3 names, you're the best too. I love you. I love all you guys. So
perfect. Shout out to the Denver crew,
Denver crew always.
Yeah. Cool. This has been Camera Shop Talk. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. See ya. I sounded too much like Jared Polin. See you later.
I will see you.